Awesome. Thank you. We've got a lot of folks here, and we're trying to get them all recording access. But if you have an opening statement, we will go ahead and take it, and I will grant recording access to everybody who needs it.
No, we can go ahead and start.
All right. So with that said, if you've got a question, raise your hand, and we will go ahead and get started with a question from Sarah Spencer.
Hey, Nate. How did you learn of Lloyd being let go, and just kind of what was your reaction to that whole situation?
Surprise. Yesterday after practice, basically I was taking a nap, and we had just come back from practice, and I get a phone call that they had released Coach Pierce, and they had interest in me taking over as the head coach. So, a bit surprised with that.
What was your thought process on, I mean, obviously you ended up accepting, but what was your thought process? And did you talk to Lloyd at all about, taking the interim job?
Well, the thought process was at first that wasn't something that I really was going to do. Because it was really a surprise to me. And, when I spoke with Travis about that, I told him that, that wasn't what I came here for. Basically, Coach Pierce and I talked about a lot of things before I was hired to come down. And, he had his assistants in place in the sense of Melvin and Chris Gent, those guys. So that was something that we really ended the conversation with. I needed to talk about that and think about that.
Chris Kirschner.
On those same lines, what did you need to hear from Travis in the front office for you to be comfortable in taking this interim job?
Well, it wasn't so much, just from Travis. It was, I talked with Coach Pierce, and we had a conversation about, the team and the move and the replacement. And he just felt that, he didn't think this would happen, but he felt that I could step in and do a good job with the team. And he basically, felt that I should take this opportunity with leading the team.
Can I ask if Lloyd had told you, you shouldn't take the job, or he wouldn't feel right with you taking the job, would you have not accepted the job?
Well, we had a good discussion. We talked about, the things that he felt that we felt we needed to do for the organization, and that wasn't a discussion. It was, he felt I could do a good job. We had a good group here, and we needed to just move forward.
Zach Klein.
Nate, Travis said yesterday that the team needed a new voice moving forward to get them to that next spot. How is your voice, your approach, your technique different than Lloyd's?
Well, for me, I just have to be me and be myself. That's the one thing that I told Coach Pierce when I came down to work with him. That was my advice to him. Was to be yourself, teach what you know, and I think you would be okay. That's what I'm going to do. I got to be myself. I'll teach what I know. There'll be some slight changes in how we do some things, but I'll be myself, and which is focusing on the details. Making sure that we try to get that energy out there every single night. That we're playing winning basketball, we're playing the game the right way, we're playing the game together, and we understand what it takes to to win games. So that's all I can do. I can only be Nate McMillan.
Just a quick follow-up. Well, what are some of those slight changes?
I don't know right now. It's been so. It's been a whirlwind in the last 24 hours. Tonight we're going to be doing a lot of what we've been doing. The thing about this year is just a real tough year for I think for all the coaches in the league to make adjustments. You're talking about making adjustments with a brand new team. You don't have practice time in the middle of the season, and it's a huge challenge to do so. And you have with us, you have a number of injuries. So those are all the things that Coach Pierce was forced to work with. The number of injuries that he had, the lack of practice time that he had, the different combinations of players being in and out of the lineup. And you have to do that. Basically, you are working on that during the game, because you just don't have the practice time to build chemistry or work on execution.
Jeff Schultz.
Nate, I realize you've been one scene over, but you've been there up close. What has been your view of player accountability in general on this team? And do you have a general philosophy about how you approach that as a coach?
I think coach has definitely held players accountable, for things that he felt they needed to do. Again, we are different in the sense of how we go about doing some things, but I think that he has, or he did, hold his players accountable. One of the things I just met with the team, and two of my pet peeves, we haven't had, really issues with this, but being on time is a pet peeve of mine. Being on time and everything that you're supposed to be doing, and playing the game the right way. I can't, normally I don't F with the game, but play the game the right way. You play the game together, you play the game hard, you play it for 48 minutes. And, so, for me, and speaking for me, those are two things that I expect our guys to do.
Charles Odom.
Can I ask you to follow up and just share what you can about that team meeting and how the players are reacting to this change?
Well, it was a team meeting to discuss what happened yesterday with Coach Pierce, and then to talk about the plan to move forward. We had to be quick with this because we do have a game tonight. And then to focus on Miami, so it was really quick far as talking about the direction we wanted to go in, talking about Coach Pierce, and then turning our attention to Miami and getting ourselves ready for Miami tonight.
Brandon Leak.
Coach, I was interested to see your opinions on the benefit of coaching 3 games this year and winning 2 of those 3 games.
Well, my approach tonight will be the same as those 3 games, which is, okay, this is the situation I have, trying to adapt and make adjustments with the players that we have in uniform tonight, and trying to prepare them for Miami tonight. I've been in that seat before, so it wasn't too different in the sense that you're running somewhat of a different system, but it'll be the same tonight. I really won't have an opportunity to make really major or adjustments until probably after the break when we come back. So we'll be doing, the things that we've been conditioning ourselves to do all season long. And, we just got to execute and, play that way for 48 minutes.
And what do you envision? I know there are a lot of things that have just happened recently, so you have to get through tonight and get to the All-Star break. But down the road, the other half of the season, how much of the playbook and how much of the philosophy that the guys have already learned remains, and how much is it changed, being that there are some things that have to be done differently?
I can't say how much we will use, how much it will change. Of course, we will do some things different, but I can't say that right now because I really adapt to my players, and I know people have talked about my style of play, or it's not my style of play; it's the player's style of play. And, we will try to, and what I always try to do is put our players in position where they can do well, they can be productive, doing the things that they're capable of doing out on the floor. So the players will decide and create that style of play that is on the floor. And, what I try to do and what I will have the staff try to do is, do things to put them in position to do well on the floor.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Tenitra Batiste.
Hey, Coach, obviously with this move being so sudden, I'm wondering, just kind of going back with your conversation with the players today, did you walk away with them having, or with you feeling like they have a sense of urgency that, hey, this move was made a couple games before the All-Star break, and what the sense of urgency is, not just for you, but for them to really make a push to put yourselves in position to get into the postseason?
Well, it's absolutely a sense of urgency. And, basically what I told our guys, and I really believe this, if you're looking to point the finger at someone or something, you need to point that finger at yourself. And, and that's all of us. Coach Pierce takes the hit for this, but we all play a part in him not being here today. And we got to do better. We got to do better. We're capable of doing better. We have to do better than we've been doing. So, if you're looking for someone or something to point a finger at, point that finger at yourself, all of us. And because we have to do better and win some games. And we have that opportunity. Coach Pierce doesn't get that opportunity. And, he takes the hit for it. But that's on all of us to improve, do things better, win ball games.
And just kind of looking forward a little bit to tonight's game, Travis Schlenk talked about the fact that you'll get Bogdan Bogdanovic back with minutes restrictions, but what can he maybe mean, especially in those critical moments on defense, just to kind of help you guys get over the hump and get a win tonight?
Well, he hasn't played in a couple months now. And, so it'll be great to get another healthy body back tonight, but he'll be really trying to get a feel for, the game again. Because of the lack of practicing that we've had over the last a couple of really months, he hasn't really played live. He hasn't played live basketball. He played some 4-on-4 the other day, and that's not 5-on-5 basketball. And it wasn't a scrimmage. So again, the how we have to prepare this season because of the rule change and the lack of practicing and the testing and all of that that is involved. We're having to adjust and adapt a little different than we normally are used to. So what do I expect from Bogey tonight? To get out there, get his feet, get his feet wet, And, he'll give us some minutes. We need that extra body. Hopefully he can come out red hot and knock down some shots. But if we get him back, it's going to be limited minutes. And that is also a challenge to fit a guy into rotation. And I'm sure they're going to have a restriction if he's allowed to play.
Thanks, Coach.
Emmanuel Glaze.
Hey, Coach, tell us in your assessment, how close is the team to making it to that playoff push that you want them to? They're 3 games out of 5th and 6th place. What do you feel now as moving 1 seat over, assessing where this team is at, what it would take to get into the playoff run, and what you feel like you could have to do with this team to get them there?
Well, we got to play winning basketball. We got to, as you mentioned, we're 2.5 games out of that 8th spot. And, those teams that are, I think, between 4 and 8, they are a game, so there's a lot of teams playing 500 basketball or, slightly better or, slightly less than that. And we're still in the race, and it's a lot of season. We got a second half left here, but we have to do those things to win ball games. We've been in a lot of ball games here where we've lost the game in the 4th quarter or late in the 4th, and we have to do the things to win those games. Those are some of the things we just showed them on tape. You got to get rebounds, especially the last 5 minutes of the game, which happened in the Miami game. When you get open opportunities, you got to knock those shots down. You got to turn up your defense. You got to, one of the things that I try to teach our team is the 3 C's: being calm, being clear, being connected, going down the stretch, especially in the 4th quarter. I thought we lost our poise. We settled for some shots, some deep shots, quicken the shot clock as opposed to making that team work and creating a better shot down the stretch. So we didn't show that calm, that poise going down the stretch. And we didn't show that execution on some of those things where, defensively we had breakdowns. Weak side didn't come over, rotate, stop the ball. So all of those things you have to do to win games. And those are the things that we will continue to talk about, continue to show them. And hopefully we start to do those things and start winning games.
And real quick follow-up, Coach, what is the mentality change that you're going to go through from moving from 1 seat over, from being the assistant coach to the head coach for the Hawks, to help us get through that payroll, that playoff run?
Well, I have the final decision on everything. And, so that's the thing that will be different, as far as how we play, the things that we do. Whereas I was assistant coach and the other assistants with game planning and preparation as an assistant here. Now, that decision will come down to me.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah.
I know it's not obviously, exactly an ideal situation, but what is it like for you going back to being a head coach and being in that driver's seat? I know you've said before you're nervous before every game, so there's not necessarily the biggest difference. But what is it like for you?
Well, the sleepless nights have already started, so didn't get a wink of sleep last night. Preparation is definitely different, as the head. So those are the major difference. Preparation, a lot more preparing, game planning, decisions on how the team is going to play in tonight's game, goes into that. So, it's really night and day as far as the preparation, being an assistant to going back to that first seat.
Nate, does this team have the talent to make the postseason, you think? And is it just a matter of playing for 48 minutes?
Well, I think we are capable of doing some good things here. And I think we certainly need to get healthy. But yes, I think they do. We're young, as far as this roster. We got to show that growth, show that improvement, and get it done. It's what you're faced with. So I think we have talent to win games here.
Thank you.
Chris Kirschner.
Given the circumstances of Lloyd's first 2 seasons and the injuries this season, do you ultimately feel like he was given a fair shot to show what he can do as a head coach?
That's not, my decision on that. As coaches, these are things we have to deal with. As I talked to Coach last night, and we've had conversations over the last few months, sometimes you get caught in a storm as coaches. And, this it seemed to be like a perfect storm in the sense that we're playing a season that's been shortened because of this virus that's out here. We're playing without fans. We've had a number of injuries. DeAndre was playing great basketball for us at the beginning of the season. And, he goes down with a freak injury. Bogey has a injury. Gallo twists his ankle. All of these things you just don't prepare for. And in the sense that you have all these injuries, you don't have the practice time. Coach Pierce has just brought a blessing. Him and his wife has just brought a blessing into this game. This world, and he had to miss a couple games for that. That's just tough. It's a tough time for him and all of us. We have to deal with it. It's just situations as coaches. Sometimes you get caught in situations like that, and you have to deal with it. I just came out of coaching in the bubble, a real bubble, and I was let go. So it's part of the business that we sign up to do.
Zach Klein.
Coach, are you looking this as the ultimate job interview for this team? And would you eventually like to see the interim tag removed and be the head coach of Atlanta moving forward?
Well, Zach, I'm gonna take this, and you guys are gonna hear me say this as much as you ask. I'm one game at a time. I'm focused on tonight's game, not tomorrow's game. Tonight's game is where my attention is at, and how do we get tonight's game? And then that attention after tonight's game will be turned to tomorrow night's game. So far as the future and what I'm looking for, I really haven't thought about that. There was no conversation about that with Travis and I.
Gary Washburn.
Hey, Nate. You were fired during the season in Portland, and then you were let go after the bubble in Indiana. You've had your ups and downs, and people thought you were unjustly removed there. And then you probably were planning to chill for a while until you got talked into coming to the Hawks, and now you're the head coach. How do you deal with these emotions? How do you deal with just the ups and downs? You said it was kind of a business that you're in, but how do you deal with, probably thinking you're going to take the year off to now helping out Lloyd to now being the head coach after trying to get over what happened with the Pacers?
Yeah, Lloyd and I, Coach Pierce and I talked about that last night. He actually apologized for for coming up and speaking with me. I mean, it's part of the business, you know, where you are in a challenging position, but it's what we sign up for. You know, it's just to coach and to challenge ourselves as well as our teams to play well and win ball games. And, you know, it was a conversation that I wasn't planning on doing anything this season. And after speaking with Coach Pierce about coming down and helping him, I chose to do that. I was in his seat. I understood what he was trying to do. He wanted to take that next step as far as improving the team and challenging the team to win ball games down here. And, you know, he wanted to try to put a staff together as well as put a roster together to give him that opportunity to do so. I'm a believer in Coach Pierce. He sold me on his plan, and I wanted to be on board to come down and try to help him make a difference. And you know, it's one of these situations where we actually talked about this because I told him, I said, you know, if you drop 3-4 games, you know, you guys are going to start talking, and you know, and it's just part of the business. You know, it's not something that we hadn't talked about. And he said, you know, basically, I'm okay with that. You know, he believed in me. He believed in himself. He believed in this organization and this team that we could get it done.
Coach, I think we have maybe 3 more. First from Brandon Leak.
Coach, you've coached All-Stars and LaMarcus Aldridge and Zach Randolph and Hall of Famers and Ray Allen and even Patrick Ewing in Seattle. How are those conversations different with those caliber of players? And have you had, and do you need to have a different conversation with Trae Young?
No, I think it'll be similar, you know, trying to help him grow as a player and, you know, talk to him and show him film and, you know, really the same things Coach Pierce was doing with him, how he has to grow as a player each year because teams are going to be doing things different against him. And, you know, you can't come back the same guy that you were last year or the year before that. You have to show growth because you're going to see different things. You know, I had it with Victor Oladipo and Sabonis, and you know those young guys where all of a sudden you're playing against single coverage, then all of a sudden the next season you're seeing traps and a lot more traps. With Trae, he's gone from seeing traps to I think at least 2 or 3 of the games this season he's seen box and one, which a lot of players go through NBA, they don't see that, you know, so having to learn to adjust and figure out how to continue to be productive in those situations are things that, you know, Coach Pierce was working on with him. I will work on with him. And, you know, the good players and those all-stars that continue to be all-stars, they make those adjustments. They find ways to be better and not allow a team or a particular defensive strategy to take you out of the game. You know, you still got to find a way. You know, Michael Jordan and Kobe and all those guys, they know they were going to see double teams and triple teams and all of that, but they're still able to be productive and their teams win games.
Thank you, Coach.
2 more. First from Raphael Haynes.
Hey, Coach, Raphael from a 3-point conversion. Coach, you've been in this position before with Seattle. You became the interim coach there. Does that play a part and help you through this tough situation as far as just, hey, here you go, you got to take over the team? And also, I remember you told John Collins that after the Boston Celtics game, he had a bad game. You said, hey, throw it away, let it go. With you all being 3 games out of 4th place, what just happened, pandemic, with Coach Pierce, do you still have that mentality to say, hey, let's not focus on what we did back then. Let's think about what we're going to do now and focus on making the postseason?
Yeah, the focus is on, and it's not about postseason. It's about tonight. You know, as I just mentioned, it's not. We can't look that far ahead. It's about tonight. And you know, far as stepping in, you know, I've never stepped in the middle of a season like this and replace a coach. You know, normally you have a training camp, or you know, you have practice time to make some adjustments and work on some things, and that is important, you know. But in the middle of a season, no, I've never been in you know, this situation before, and I know it's going to be a challenge to do it, but it's basically what we got to do, and you know, so I'm not focusing on May and June. I'm focusing on tonight. And, you know, we take this one game at a time. We talked about the adjustments that we need to make from our last loss to Miami, and get ourselves ready and better for tonight's game. And hopefully that gives us a chance to win.
Christos.
Hello, Coach. I would like to ask you, how could you describe the atmosphere in the locker room, mentally wise, today? And what is the biggest improvement that you would like to do as a coach in the team until the end of the season?
Okay, I missed the first part. Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah. How could you describe the atmosphere in the locker room, mentally wise, about your players?
Well, I mean, a lot of these guys had close relationships with Coach, and I know it's tough. You know, I know it's tough on them because it's tough on me. It's tough on this coaching staff. You know, everybody who has been in this family, you know, for this season, and you know, some of these guys have been with Coach for the last couple of seasons. That's tough to see. You know, a family member let go in a situation like this. It's similar to players getting traded. It's really another man down, but he's gone. And we talked about that. The atmosphere, guys were a little quiet. They were quiet, which you expected them to be. I think Coach had conversations with most, if not all of them, last night. And, you know, as a staff, we were together last night with Coach Pierce. And, you know, so, you know, tough situation, you know, and we'll see what happens tonight, you know, as far as us coming back and playing well enough to win a game. You know, we went over what we need to do. You know, that's a tough team, a very tough team. You know, a team that was in the finals last year. They'll be getting, we assume, Butler back tonight. So it's going to be another tough challenge for us. But Phil, if we do what we are capable of doing, that we will give ourselves a chance to win.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, I have one more for you. I'm sorry. The last question will go to Simone Sandri.
Yes, going forward, would there be a reassessment of the hierarchy from lineups to maybe rotation? You obviously were in the very peculiar situation in NBA of having your 2 highest paid players starting from the bench when healthy, obviously. So would there be like a reassessment of those hierarchy?
Yeah, I mean, we'll once we get guys back, you know, we're hoping that we get Bogey back tonight. I'm sure he's going to, if he does come back to the lineup tonight, he's going to be limited as far as the minutes. You know, when we get all of our guys back, yes, we will be adjusting our lineup again to what we feel is the best lineup, that first and second unit that will give us the best chance to win ball games. So we'll see you know, once we get everybody healthy. But far as tonight's game, we're pretty much going to start the same unit that we started in our last game.
Coach McMillan, that was our final question for you. So thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.